everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new around here, and we bring about conversations about psychology, human behavior, coaching related topics. We try to do that as often as we can. We try to do that in an audio format several times per week, sometimes daily, depending on my schedule. In any event, this particular audio is about signs of manipulation, how to know if you've been manipulated, that sort of stuff. If you are dealing with kind of finding balance in emotions and how you relate to the emotions of others, this can be an awesome audio for you. Please feel free to reach out if you want help in this area. A couple ways to do that in the About Me section of this YouTube channel or at PO Perception on Twitter. Either way, you can get where you need to get. So, the first thing is guilt. People will use guilt to emotionally manipulate you. If you feel badly about yourself, you're more pliable. If you feel badly about a decision you've made, you're more pliable. It doesn't mean that what is being thrust upon you as your responsibility actually is your responsibility. But if you believe it, it can then be leveraged into use for later. So be careful if you believe that you are taking on the responsibility for other people's emotional state or the things that they believe or the way in which things are going. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't take stock if you've been hurtful to somebody or you've been dismissive. But at the same time, if someone's trying to force you into a position where you feel either one of these things, it may be time to recalculate and recalibrate that friendship or that relationship. So, the next is if someone is constantly making you feel secure. Obviously, security must come from within you because it is self-security. Security that comes from you will last because you can kind of rebuild the reservoir that is and the value of that is. Ultimately, security has to come from true knowledge of your place in the world and who you truly are and who you desire to be. Now, you may not always be able to get there quickly. You may not get there as quickly as you desire to, or in the way that you thought you would. But understanding the value of how to get there at all can ultimately be a good way to go about it. So in any event, we certainly can make a connection with basically not being manipulated by being more secure in general going forward and in the present moment. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to know everything that's coming. It also doesn't necessarily have to mean that you are good with everything that's happening. It just means security of your own resilience is at the center of your thoughts, feelings, and how you go about things. The next is they change the rules or they change the emotions of a room continually. Now, emotional manipulation comes about by changing rules. So what used to apply doesn't apply, and the assumption that you know how things have changed or should know how things have changed is a guilt mechanism that's placed upon you, not because the person means you well, but because the exact opposite, they don't. And so what that means at the end of the day is the understanding that you have the ability to choose how something affects you, but you also have to know that there are people that will change the rules and change the focus of a conversation or how things are going in order to gain their own advantage or their own leverage of value. The next thing is understanding that, in fact, people who are manipulative are individuals who gaslight. That is, make you doubt yourself or question your authority, your ability to have authority, your ability to be important, or your recollection of events or the impact you can have upon events. Obviously, we can't control every impact that we have, but understanding that, in fact, we can control and often do control at least some part of our reactions and receptions of world events around us, even if it doesn't make sense to us at the time, is important. When a person is trying to manipulate you, they will, almost always, try to gaslight you into believing that you don't have value. And then the last point that I want to make is overvaluing, overcomplimenting. So if a person is flooding you with love and positive affirmation, and it comes from a place that it feels like a flood. It feels like too much. You got to follow your gut intuition here, but when it begins to feel like too much, it means their motivation isn't genuine, which also means that they are looking for something from the compliments, from the value of same, and so they are trying to manipulate your emotions by lulling you into a false sense of security, and that is obviously negative. Hopefully, this has been helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.